Hello, this is Cecilia Beckwith with the League of Women Voters of Portland, and you're watching the Video Voters Guide or listening to our podcast. We're here today to talk with candidates running in the May 17, 2022 primary election. All candidates running for this position in the primary election were invited by the League to participate. We asked the candidates for the same office, the same questions. The number of questions asked is determined by the length of the candidate's answers. In this process, we're grateful for the support of Carol and Velma Sailing Foundation, the League of Women Voters of Portland Education Fund, the Weiss Foundation, and our media partner, Metro East Community Media. With me today is Ms. Elizabeth Taylor, candidate for the Multnomah County Commissioner District 2, which includes North and Northeast Portland. So welcome, Ms. Taylor.
Thank you. Thank you.
Please tell us a little bit about yourself and why you're running for this office.
Well, to start off, my name is, again, you can call me Liz Taylor. I grew up, I was born and raised in North and Northeast Portland, Oregon. My ancestors were started their families in 1941 in the Vanport area, which is close to which is across the street from where I live right now, Delta Park, where they worked shipyards, worked on the ships to help win World War II, and also worked with the railway and highway. At any rate, from there, I was born in 1954 and grew up in North and Northeast Portland. In my life, we had traditions in the Black lifestyle. In fact, there were more than 33,000 Black folks that had relocated to North and Northeast Portland after the Vanport flood of 1948. And from there, we built families. In fact, the homes that I grew up in were huge homes, and each home, our family, great-grandparents raised 2 or 3 generations, and then and once they died, then their kids took over and raised 2, 3, 4 generations, and so on and so on. So we were all, by the time I came along, pretty much everybody in North and Northeast Portland were Black, and there were homeowners. I grew up in the AME church. My grandmother was an educator, Magnolia Elizabeth Taylor. Went to University of Oregon for the early child education program, No Child Left Behind, where she got her master's degree at the University of Oregon, and this was in 1972. But in the meantime, I was one of 5 kids that was, but we were all bused from Northeast King. Well, at that time it was called Highland Elementary School. We were bused from Highland Elementary School to Whitaker Elementary School, and then from Whitaker Elementary School, and this was mandatory forced busing, by the way. From Whitaker Elementary School, all 5 of us ended up going to 5 different high schools. If you can imagine a young couple having 5 kids going to 5 different high schools, I can't even imagine that. At any rate, I went to Grant High School. Was very popular at Grant and was in a lot of activities, everything. I was a thespian in drama, and second Black cheerleader. It seemed like my whole life I was always singled out as being the Black child in the room. At any rate, I left Grant and went to Portland State University, and that's when I got involved with the Black History Department at Portland State, which I might add is one of the best programs that I've been coast to coast. Is one of the best programs that I've ever seen and I've ever had an opportunity to work with. In fact, I wanted to show you this book. I don't know if you can see it from here. Maybe not, but maybe not. But this book was published in 1978, which was the year that I graduated from Portland State University in political science. I had worked with Senator Bill McCoy, and of course, Gladys McCoy was one of my mentors. I worked with Senator Bill McCoy in the Oregon legislature as a legislative assistant for 2 legislative sessions. And I had always been infatuated by politics. Because it seems like most of the adults were who were my role models and who took special attention with me were all involved in politics in one way or another. Charles Jordan, for example, went to my church. He was a Bible school teacher at my church, and we spoke every Sunday. And then you had Lee Brown, who was in charge of the school integration committee in Portland. He moved from there to Atlanta to work to be the sheriff in Atlanta over the missing and murdered children's program. And then he went on to Washington, D.C. and Texas. People like Alice Robinson, who worked with at-risk youth with the Job Corps program, and then June Terry. I mean, I could just mention all of these people go hand in hand. Ailey Henderson was the minister at my church, and at that time, he got me involved with. Encouraged me to run, and I was elected to be one of the first youth delegates to the AME Church General Conference that was held in Atlanta that year. So politics has always gone hand in hand, and one of my favorite all-time peace speakers was Martin Luther King, and even to this day I still listen to his last Sunday sermon. So why do I want to run for a county commission today? It's my turn. I have been on the shoulders. I've been on the shoulders, and I've been trained of many leaders that have come before me. I've lived through Model Cities program, which was an excellent program. I've seen gentrification firsthand twice in my generation from North and Northeast Portland. But I mean, Vanport, nobody is mentioned in Vanport, which was the second largest city in the state, but yet it was not even a city because it was never cloned as a city. It was never named as a city. It was just the name of a place where Black folks sat, because at that time, Black people weren't even allowed, it was in the Constitution. Black people couldn't even come into the state of Oregon. We have a dark past, and that's why I want to run. I did not know about these things, and that was because of lack of education, even though I was highly educated and spent a lot of time being educated in college classes and from elementary school through high school, special workshops. But at any rate, I want to represent Black folks. I want to right a lot of the wrongs that have been happening. And I do not see where the local government and the local county commission in Multnomah County District Number 2, I just don't see that happening. I am concerned about the homelessness. I've never seen anything like that coming up in Northeast Portland. Even though I'm an offspring.
Excuse me, we have to keep to 7 minutes, and it's been over 7 minutes.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it has, unfortunately. So this has to include our video voters guide.
Next time I'll stick to my notes.
and podcast interview of Dr. Taylor. This concludes our video voters guide and podcast interview of Elizabeth Taylor, candidate for Multnomah County Commissioner District 2. Election day is Tuesday, May 17th. Thank you for informing yourselves about the candidates and exercising your right to vote. For more information on the primary election and this race, visit our websites, vote411.org and lwvpdx.org.